right, guys, so success is not only determined by our achievements, but also by our ability to overcome obstacles and keep going despite setbacks, right? Those were the words of our next guest, former Caribbean Boxing Federation welterweight champion and a two-time winner of the Rare Navy Contender Series, and now a holder of a Master of Science degree in Sport Business Management. Can we give him a round of applause there? Sakima Mullings joins us now on set. Good morning.
In the red corner.
Congratulations on an amazing milestone. You know, there are people who will be looking at you and looking at your career and thinking, this guy has got it made. Like, why would he choose to go back to the classroom, go back to school at this point in your life? So tell me what the impetus was for you to do this.
Well, I understood that the shelf life of an athlete is short. And one of the reasons why the shelf life of an athlete is short is because of injuries.
Correct.
So I was injured and I was overcoming my injuries. With overcoming my injuries, I started to really deliberate and think, well, what is it that I wanted to do after boxing? So I specifically sought out opportunities in sports administration, in sports management. And I already had a bachelor's degree. So then I had...
what was the bachelor's in?
My bachelor's was in business administration.
Gotcha.
My concentration was in finance. So like I had this thing where I definitely wanted to be a part of the administration side of things, but I didn't want to do finance anymore. Mm-hmm. And so when I was thinking about exactly what I wanted to do, I said, well, school will give me the opportunity, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, to figure out to carve a path, to create a niche in terms of how I could be able to contribute back to boxing, to give back to the next generation of Jamaican fighters. Mm-hmm.
How was it? Was that 3-year course of study or 4 years?
It was 3 years. It was 3 years. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to actually be 18 months, but the delivery of the courses took a little bit longer than they were supposed to, so it took about 24 months. And it was rough.
Hard?
It was difficult.
Tell me what the difficulty was. Because you're used to doing hard things.
Right. And so then boxing prepared me for that. And it's one of the transferable life skills that I've learned from boxing is to overcome adversity, is to have the resilience. And that's what being a student is. It's about being dedicated to the task, getting the assignments done, and having proper time management. But I found that as a child, school was it was a little bit easier because I didn't have adult responsibilities. So it's the balance,
which usually derails a lot of people.
Right.
You got it done, and you're saying largely it was your skills as a boxer that allowed you to finish.
Right. So there's a lot of transferable life skills that I believe that I've gained from boxing over the years that I've been able to apply to other aspects of my life. So the same way that I looked at it, I became aware to say that, boy, boxing is very difficult. And to be a good boxer, I had to dedicate my whole life to boxing. So I had to train multiple times a day. My life became boxing. I had to watch what I ate. I had to watch how I socialized, change the way that I speak. It consumed my life. So then I said just that, well, if I apply that same concept to anything else in life, I'll be successful. And I was always a good student, but then it was about applying the same concept to school. It's about applying the same concept to work, to applying the same concept to whatever it is that I choose that I want to dedicate my time to, is to apply that concept as if I was dedicating myself to a fight.
Interestingly, you say you're not finished with boxing just yet.
No, I've never officially retired from boxing, and I've intentionally left that window open.
Why?
For the perfect situation, if the perfect fight presents itself. You know, again, one of the things about boxing is that you dedicate so much of your life to it and it becomes so consuming that it's very difficult to walk away. And I struggle with it to this day, to where in the perfect situation, in the perfect world, I would fight, but then if it doesn't make sense, I'll continue on my transition.
Are you training?
I train fighters. And again, so then I live vicariously through them. So where, again, to move away from boxing, to not put myself in a training program, because it changes your mindset, it changes your mentality to where you feel like, all right, I'm preparing for a fight, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not. I'm supposed to be transitioning. Yeah. But I'm still leaving that window open. I haven't officially retired. So I train the fighters, and you form a relationship with fighters where you live vicariously through them because you give so much. Fighters are very needy. Yeah. Because again, like it consumes my life, it consumes their life.
Yeah.
What does your degree allow you to do?
Well, it's a degree that focused on all aspects of sports business management. So in a boxing context, it allows me to manage a fighter. It allows me to advise a fighter. It allows me to operate a gym. It allows me to help them in terms of their decisions that they'll make towards their nutrition. So it's a holistic degree in terms of looking at sports holistically. It allows me to put the proper policies and procedures in place so that they can manifest and gain the most out of the career based off of what's present here in Jamaica now.
So Sakima, what does that perfect fight look like? You say you've left the door open for the perfect fight.
Well, again, I left boxing when I was injured, and the only thing better than an underdog story is a comeback story.
Hey.
So then it would be a return fight, Sakima Mullings' return fight to Jamaica. Now, who that opponent is becomes a mystery question.
Do you have somebody in mind?
Not necessarily. And again,
I don't believe you. I joke. I'm just joking.
So if you get called and says we have a fight, prize money, $2 million US.
Yeah, and the money would
that.
have to absolutely be right also. So the situation would have to be right. It would have to be the comeback fight. The opponent would have to be right, and then the money would have to make dollars so that it makes sense.
How's the injury?
Yeah.
I'm over the injury. So then it's been a couple of years now. Where I went through all my surgeries. For everybody, surgeries, plural, and it was rough.
How many?
6 to 7 surgeries.
Where?
On the retina. So what I had was a retinal detachment, and it was an accumulation of It was a chronic injury. So a lot of people who didn't understand what really happened to me, I didn't have an acute injury. There wasn't a blow that hurt me, but it was just years of boxing and not having the appropriate checks to monitor what was going on with the retina. So also with the fact that I was born with what they call retinitis pigmentosus, RP, where my retina is just a little bit weaker than the average person, and it deteriorates over time.
But you would still go back in the ring. You'd still go back in the ring.
When you live in your purpose, you live in your purpose, and when you understand that, all of us are not fighters, but then my purpose is to fight, and I didn't have to fight. I chose to fight, and when you live in your purpose, you live in your purpose.
I want to ask you. I will have to go. But I want to ask. I see the scar over your shoulder, over your eye. I hear you talk about your chronic injury. I know you've had bumps and bruises and cuts and scrapes and God knows what else, but you stick with this. What is your boxing metaphor for life that you can leave us with as a takeaway?
Well, my boxing mantra would be that only the strong survive. We and the obstacle is the way. So then it's kind of like whatever obstacles are in your way, whatever trials, whatever tribulations, whatever setbacks, whatever challenges, they're there to help you on your journey to develop into the person that you're supposed to be. And it's approached with a growth mindset. So that's how we've approached things in terms of, it's about my journey, it's about my purpose, and I'm going to approach it with a growth mindset. So I'm going to make myself better tomorrow than I was today.
Wow.
Great to see a word.
Obstacle is the way.
Yep. I want to give you a little trivia. Not a nice one. Hall of Fame boxer Sugar Ray Robinson, this is true by the way, backed out of a fight because he had a dream that he was going to kill his opponent in the ring. After a priest and minister convinced Robinson to fight, he went into the ring and killed his opponent.
Get out.
Jimmy Doyle. True story.
Wow.
True story.
No premonitions like that for Sakima.
That's it.
Winning
it's a
only.
trivia.
Winning, right?
Sakima Mullings, former Caribbean boxing featherweight, welterweight champion, but not a former boxer just yet. He's a 2-time winner of the Rhea Neville Contender Series. And it
waiting for the right fight.
I was just going to say,
right dollars to make the right set.
The next time we speak with him is because he knocked out somebody.
Fight the man, yeah. that got too easy.
Yeah, because me others beat him up. That makes sense. But soon come. Congrats, Virgin. Congrats.
Thank you. Devlin, happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for being here.
Sit with us for a second. So come.
You would be...